What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day, and with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, so we're going to start off with the daily time frame, and I'm going to point out a few things that I am watching. All right, but obviously we're just going to cover the technicals. But before we do that and run through everything, I just want to point out, hey guys, we got the pop. All right, in the weekly update, I told you guys that I saw a trend that at pretty much every bottom except for once on the VIX throughout this bear market, we have had a bullish divergence on yeah, you've had a bullish divergence form on your CCI, and I have it marked here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This wasn't a part of the bear market over here, but past there has been. All right, so you bottom like 6 times throughout the bear market on VIX before having these like decent almost 100% moves here. And the only one in which you did not form the bullish divergence is when you had that go on over here. All right, so it was right here is what I'm talking about. And right here, the CCI never hit the oversold line right there. It never hit your buy line right there. All right, so because of that, I do think we are still going to get this, and we already have had it do the first thing we needed, which was we needed this thing to hinge back up. And keep in mind, all right, this is not... The market is not waiting for VIX to form a bullish divergence in order to fall off a cliff. That is not at all what's taking place, all right? This is just something that, the trend that's going on. I don't know why it always happens, but it, like, again, 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 6 times this whole bear market, where the VIX has had these massive spikes afterward, all right, we have seen that happen. So I'm just saying, it is probable that it does end up happening. The fact that we did already see the VIX shoot up like 10% today, the fact that we saw that is kind of, hey, it's giving me like, hey, you were right to see this. All right, you were right to see this trend. We are probably going to see this trend prevail. I don't know if this happens, if this takes all week to form. All right, but if we do end up going higher tomorrow on SPX, that would likely bring VIX down here, and we would break the 1801. I think it's 1801. Yeah, 1801 low. And then that would allow that to come there, and then boom. All right, then everything I'm watching for, yeah, guys, I say we're good. We're good to go. All right, and yes, guys, a rug pull is right around the corner. Anybody who, I don't want to roast anybody who's looking at this thing bullishly. I'm just saying, if you don't see what is right around the like literally right around the corner, if you don't see it, like, I'm sorry, but you do need to expose yourself to tools that are going to allow you to see this. All right, right now you have one hell of a setup for a rug pull. All right, and if anybody thinks we are going to come up here to the trend line and impulsively break it after our momentum oscillators are in overbought territory on the daily time frame, I'm just saying it makes no sense. All right, and I'm also going to bring up what I've been saying with DIA. You're all the way up here. All right, you're not going to have a sustained massive rip above this if like you do break out from here. All right, it's just not going to be anything big. So like if you do end up breaking it, it is just going to be for that bull trap. All right, that's literally it, and then they will send you down shortly after. But I'm just going to remind everyone, guys, 4,030, that is the level that I've been saying since literally since they announced this trade. All right, since I retweeted on Twitter, 4,030, that is where I see top. Any like break above that would be intraday, and we would not get a close above there, because that is where JP Morgan ended up shorting calls. All right, their short calls there. Yes, it was to pay for their, I think it's called the debit spread. All right, yes, it was to pay for that position, but I mean, I'm just saying their whole position is completely underwater right now. I don't think they are going to think them doing that just puts a cap on SPY or SPX, in my personal opinion. I think that is where the Fed is going to end up coming out, because JP Morgan is pressuring them, or like JP Morgan is just going to literally shove you down. Now, I also do want to point this out, all right? I don't know how this week is going to shape up. I have a pretty good idea, but I don't have a crystal ball, but you do have your stochastic starting to hinge down right there. That is something that I just noticed. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm just saying, you like literally are right on the edge. All right. There's nothing that anybody really should be bullish here about. At least before you get a pullback that like at least resets things. All right. But as of right now, no, you have just like all signals suggesting, hey, everyone who's going along here is making a mistake. Do you see where VIX is? All right. That's not okay. All right. If VIX is down here, people are literally pricing in less risk than what was over there. All right. We saw the during this consolidation, we saw the put to call ratio spike twice to historic highs. All right. I think one was like 2.1 and one was 2.4 or something crazy like that, 2.38. All right. And that was signaling that we have and it's like a historic amount of put buying going on right now. And I was trying to say, like, hey guys, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen, but like it makes no sense to end up breaking down from here, all right, without things resetting, because you're not going to have this impulsive move down. You're going to slightly break down, and then you would have you would see prices come back and do what they're doing right now, right? You needed this to happen in order for, you didn't need it to happen, but again, it was extremely probable. If you wanted to see an impulsive sell-off, you're going to need to see everything reset. Everything needs to reload, all right? The shorts need to suck bulls back in, and then boom, they're going to do it again, all right? And now you have like just so many freaking people on Twitter, all right? So many of these bigger people that I follow. I got 2 Twitter accounts, and one of them I just got all of these bigger people loaded up. And like, guys, there's like a lot of people that are now like that were literally just screaming from the rooftops down there during consolidation. Hey, I'm like pretty much warning the bulls, all right? When in reality, like, nah, all right, nah, a counter trend was very likely to happen. And now that you got the move that like this was, I'm not going to say I knew it was going to be this explosive, but I damn right remember calling out what I did on Apple and Tesla. Literally, the RSI was down here on Apple. All right, that was the day I started saying like, hey, dude, all right, it was this day. Now, I understand there was this chop down here before we got the explosive move that this was telling us was going to happen. But guys, nobody freaking told me that I didn't call the crap out of this thing. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know how explosive it would be, but like straight up, this is what I got like in on early, all right? I was originally playing like, I remember 264 calls on QQQ, all right? Guess what? Your boy sold those for a loss and let the people, the crowd, literally fear him out of playing the counter trend. And then when it finally did start exploding to the upside, your boy wasn't freaking playing freaking calls, all right? Like, it's the same exact scenario now where the crowd is just completely turning bullish for some odd reason. Like, I get it, all right? But at the same time, if you're not going to acknowledge, like, what is taking place here, you're not going to acknowledge that, hey, all right, everyone was bearish down here, and somehow now they're bullish here now that we have moved up. I think this is like 8%. No, not 8%, almost 6% there. But guess what? You only had your 8-something% sell-off, all right? So, yeah, it's a damn good retracement right there. All right, QQQ, all right, from this day. Look at that. That is a sick, nasty move, all right? But guess what? That's $20 to the upside, guys, all right? Someone was saying that this often comes before breakouts or something like that. This, like, either way, bullish pressure steps in. I think that was what it was. I'm just going to say right now, all right, that is not at all what this means, all right? This doesn't mean anything in particularly. I can literally look at a spot like that where you literally died, all right? I can look at a spot like that where, again, you double top there and then you died, all right? I don't know at all how someone is going to get that from what's going on, all right? But again, it's just people getting bullish now that you have a reason to be bearish. Down here, I really wanted to be bearish, but guess what? All right, like, I didn't want to get wrecked because it was extremely likely that we were going to see some form of a counter trend move. And guess what? Yeah, guys, I specifically remember telling you guys, yes, it is setting up to be something rather explosive. That is what's going on. So, I mean, the whole, like, hey, no, all right. I'm not gonna say I traded this thing the best at all. I'm just not gonna. I'm not even gonna go there, right? But I will say right now, the TA has literally been spot on. Anyone wants to discredit that, please leave. All right. I'm sick and tired of getting a bunch of messages. All right. You guys can do whatever you want with your own money, whatever you freaking want. All right. But I'm done listening to people. I'm done listening to the freaking crowd. All right. When I was super bullish on a freaking counter trend move. Again, I got the same crap I'm getting right now. Oh, you're making a huge mistake. And guess what, all right? I may have listened to the crowd, and I didn't get the gain that I wanted. I remember being down. I had to walk away with a loss then. All right, but guess what? Guess what? It's the exact same thing that's going on right now, except it's from the other side. All right, so, like, just acknowledge that that is taking place because, holy crap, am I seeing everyone somehow turn bullish. All right, and, like, again, you don't have a reason to be bullish. All right, get Tesla's down here like that. Apple probably looks the same, all right? But what the heck is SPX doing? You think that's going to happen right where we are right now? It's not going to take place. Guess where VIX is right here? All right, guess where DXY is right here? All right, I've been calling this out for a few weeks. I probably started calling it out probably somewhere over here. All right, but in reality, all right, this is like last time you hit this level, you bounced and you just kept going. I'm not going to say you're going to push back up to all-time highs, but like either way, this is not a setup to be bullish off of. All right. So anybody who is bullish off it, please keep it to yourself. I don't need you spreading around fear. I clearly understand why a lot of people just turn comments off. Clearly get it. All right. Because all in all, you have to sit there like you either let these comments just sit there, you block the people, which you don't want to do that because you want to let the people speak. All right. But then you have to sit there like typing out paragraphs back and forth with each other if anybody has an opposing viewpoint. And when in reality, I know that whole opposing viewpoint is your emotions talking. All right. Because again, I was bullish in the consolidation. But I'm going to say right now, after we've had the expected move, why the heck would anybody be bullish? All right. There is no reason right now to be bullish, technically speaking. All right. Fundamentally speaking as well. Throwback, all right? Throwback when SPY was literally right here and Jerome Powell came on after, I think it was a positive CPI report, and literally made us fade the whole damn thing. And why? Because you reminded everyone the reality of the situation, that they will have rates at elevated levels above 5% for all of 2023. They're not cutting anything. You guys are finally going to see what I've been saying. Like, hey, it's not the raising of the rate hikes. It's like having to hold at these tightened levels that is going to squeeze the system. All right. I think we're seeing that over. I'm not going to act like I know a lot about it, but the whole Bank of Japan thing going on over there. All right. I think that is what this is. All right. If you have a yield curve going on, guys, just know that means the banking system is upside down. They no longer can just borrow. I'm pretty sure they borrow from the longer rates and they give you the shorter term rates. All right. That's like, I believe that's how it works. All right. I believe. All right, I understand like the vast majority of the banking system, but I do firmly understand if you have a yield curve going on, the banking system of whatever country that yield curve is in is upside down at the current point in time. So it's only a matter of time until things break because you can't sustain that. All right, well, we've had that, I believe, for the past like month or two. We've had a yield curve. All right, so I'm not saying I like really understand all of this, but you're seeing it over with the Bank of Japan doing what they're doing. All right. People are panicking and people are getting bullish. All right. When in reality, the narrative is likely about to change. It's likely right around the corner. All right. Very likely. All right. So like, again, if you're getting bullish off of the freaking narrative, you're being spoon fed here. Just realize it's going to change. And then you're going to be forced to be bearish and you're going to be late to the reversal. All right. You're going to see it after you're going to start getting all bearish because you're listening to the news, and it's going to be after a few days of these. All right. And like me personally, all right, there's no reason to. Like I will say, I traded like half the position today. Just because I was like, oh, okay. It was wherever that morning dip was. I know I turned off the thing, so I can't exactly see it right now. But I literally sold them on the where was it? Maybe it was down here. Yeah, I feel like it was down here. But I re-entered my puts. I think it was right over here. And I was able to get a very decent swing out of those, right? They were going, I sold like them for 155 to 160. I was getting out of them. And then I got to rebuy them all under 130. That's like a massive swing right there. But I also ended up adding them back just because I realized, holy crap, all right? I actually don't care about like any pain that comes tomorrow. I like literally don't care, all right? I'm not going to listen to the crowd or anything like that. I'm not going to try and scrape the bottom of the bowl up here when I'm going to be able to take a big fat spoonful over the next 2 weeks. All right, straight up, I'm not going to put myself in a position in which like this thing leaves without me and I'm like, holy crap, all right? All of that money you were just down, you now can't make that back on this move because you decided to try and scrape the bottom of the bowl up here. So I re-entered, got a decent chunk out of that. But now, yeah, guys, like it's literally right around the corner. All right. It is right around the corner. All right. You're stalling here at trendline resistance. This is not anything bullish that's going on. All right. Like I said, again, I really don't see the whole bullish case here. I don't. I will say right now. All right. I get it. Okay. CPI is coming in. coming in, like, you know, like we've had 3 good ones now. You have non-farm payrolls also showing that. All right. I think PPI has also came in. The last 2 of them have been bullish. All right. Now, if we get a hot PPI report tomorrow, that's super bad. All right. I think it's more likely that we get a decent PPI report tomorrow. All right. I think it's going to be rather decent. By that, I mean not hot. It's probably going to come in alignment with the past CPI and non-farm payroll reports that we've gotten. It's probably going to give us a drop, or it's going to trade us flat. All right. But all in all, you have the Fed speaker. You have Bullard, I believe, coming on Thursday, and then you have someone else coming on Friday. But I don't think they're talking about just the U.S. I think they're talking about the global financial system. But that could cause some panic. Either way, guys, all right, you have catalysts at the end of the week for downside, and I think it's likely that we end up moving up tomorrow, all right, off of PPI, and that would perfectly align with what I told you guys about the VIX. We now need to see VIX come down and make a new low, which would, you know, we would see this move down here and not make a new low, and that would then be aligned with the trend that we have seen throughout the whole bear market. All right, so if that does end up happening, all right, that is that is best, like that's the probable scenario, right? And the probable scenario aligns with PPI being bullish, all right, not coming in hot. But if it is a hot report, I'm just going to lay this out how bad it could be. All right, which is why, like, I don't care. I'm just going to I'm going to chill, all right? We are very close to the gap fill. These contracts shouldn't go too far down. All right, if we do end up pushing up to that gap fill, I want to say that's around the worst case scenario right there. But you are, like, literally stalling a trendline resistance. So, like, I think this is going to be a doozy here. But let's say it's bad, all right? And this is what got me thinking. I was like, you know what? No, that would actually be so terrible if you end up having a hot PPI report, just because, hey, all right, this is the producers, all right? So we already know what the... We already know what the CPI was, right? So the consumers, the pain is going away. We know that. It's like subsiding. It's finally subsiding, all right? But guess what? What if the PPI comes in hot? What does that tell us? That literally tells us that the only reason the consumer wasn't suffering the last month was because the producer was suffering last month, all right? So the supplier, or the person who had the demand, was only not suffering so bad because the supplier decided to hold back that pain from him. All right. So if that PPI is hot, that's all it's showing us. And that means, like, hey, maybe next month the supplier doesn't want to take the hit. All right. So now he's going to make the consumer take the hit. All right. So if you do see a hot PPI report, I'm pretty sure that's what that means. All right. I'm pretty sure it will be taken extremely bad, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't want the stress, all right? I don't care. Like, I really don't care, all right? Tomorrow, like, I'll probably just look at the market when I'm making the video, all right? Because, like, I don't care. But I will say right now, I do think it's likely that we end up going up tomorrow for, like, it doesn't have to be a new high, but something, or we need to see some wave of buying pressure that is going to take VIX down to the new low, all right? Which would come under 1801. All right. And again, it doesn't have to happen, but I would find it very odd if it didn't happen. If this trend that has been here, again, at 5 out of 6 bottoms throughout the bear market, I would find it odd that, like, you know, that's not happening. And after I noticed that, hey, we did literally get this pop, and SPX is even down today. All right. So, I mean, right off the bat, we got the first part of the equation that we needed. All right. I think it's likely that they end up rallying you into the Thursday Bullard is speaking. I don't think she's going to be dovish. I think she is going to come out hawkish. All right. I don't think it would be good. So yeah, I mean, all in all, but again, I mean, I'm going to say right now, all right, like, the TEA, guys, it's fire. All right. The TEA is amazing here on this channel. All right. It's amazing here in the written updates, but my only problem has been pairing that with Catalyst and just my expectations. All right. So I'm going to try and take that aspect out of this. All right, I will obviously still keep talking about Catalyst coming up and stuff, but expecting things to happen on Catalyst, no, that is where I completely went wrong this time around. All right, will not be doing that. All right, I will be sticking to the charts. All right, I will be 100% sticking to the charts, and I obviously will know about the Catalyst. All right, we'll know the possibilities, but I'm not taking any bets on Catalyst, because all in all, we've had a few, And yeah, none of them have done what I thought would be a catalyst for downside. All right. And I do know it's right around the corner. So some catalyst is going to spark fear back into this market. There is a very high probability that it probably happens exactly like this. You have a report making everyone bullish. You had this CPI report making everyone bullish. All right. And again, we have declining volume. We had it yesterday, which shows us that, hey, the buying pressure was fake. All right. I don't know if we're going to have declining volume again today. All right. But we're kind of just consolidating up here right around this thing, right around this trend line. I did tell you that we are looking for some sort of topping tail this week, an indecision candle, or we're looking for a bearish engulfing candle that would act just like we did here. All right. But it could also be something like this. We could literally form a doji candlestick this week. I don't know. All right. But yeah, guys. All right, that is pretty much it. All right, let's just review the 4-hour time frame. I actually don't think I went over the oscillators on the daily time frame. You are in overbought territory over here on your CCI on QQQ. It's literally the same exact picture we got over there. Overbought territory here. You're like right around over here where you hit all of your peaks over here. All right, you come over to SPX though, and you literally have the same exact rising wedge going on SPX that you do over here on QQQ. All right. Again, I do think it's probable that they take you higher tomorrow on SPX, which would, that would scare people out of their puts. VIX would end up taking a dive. All right. It can break out of this rising wedge here. It can. All right. I think it's more probable we bounce here for another day here, come up there, and then we come down and smash it impulsively. All right. But if we do end up breaking down from here, I am still looking for, I'd be looking for a back test tomorrow. I'm still looking for a high to form tomorrow. But again, I'm doing what I can, what I'm doing right now, just because, okay, all right, this thing really can be rugged at any point. We're right here, right? Technically speaking, we are so freaking sound for a rug pull right now. So sound for a rug pull. All right. We're going to look at the 4-hour time frame. All right. Obviously, I just pointed out you have the rising wedges going on, but what do you also had? What the heck is this thing? All right. We have so many points of divergence here. We'll just look at SPX. You have a quadruple bearish divergence going on. You have 1 point of divergence right here, 1 point right here. You made the higher high there. And then you have another one right here. All right. Which is right here. And then again, you have this thing that formed today. All right. You have 4 points of divergence here on SPX's 4-hour DCI here. I'm just saying, like, it is not going, like, we're grinding up right now, all right? And whenever this thing completely fizzles out, which it's showing us right now, it's completely fizzling out. Whenever this thing lets up, this thing is going to have an impulsive move down. They're going to finally take the foot off the tiger's neck, and they're going to let technicals play out here, all right? I don't know what catalyst that's going to come with, but it's going to be something. Something is going to rattle the market. No crystal ball, but hey, like, the fact that I don't know what is about to come, but I know something is about to be coming, like, hey, that's showing the charts do predict the news. I don't know what it's going to be. When we're at QQQ, you have 1 point of divergence, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5. You have a quintuple bearish divergence going on while you're in a bearish rising wedge, rising right into gap resistance or gap fill resistance, all right? I'm just saying there's an extremely high likelihood that you again, I mean, you get that rug pull, all right? Like, I'm just going to say it's a high chance it happens right around this gap, all right, that fills on QQ. But again, if we are going to see VIX make that lower low tomorrow, then I would guess that SPX is going to make a higher high than it did today. All right, so we would be breaking where we did yesterday, all right, on SPX to make that. Or was that yesterday? I don't even know. I don't know. I don't care. It's whatever. I don't think it was yesterday. I don't know. All right, guys. So I think that is pretty much it. All right. I want everyone to know this. All right. I do. Because I was also doing some thinking here. First of all, Mara, this thing is freaking amazing. All right. And actually, I'm going to tie this into why, like, hey, guys, just realize I'm a freaking 23-year-old. All right. My worst case scenario is I'm back to where I am in 3 to 4 months. I know a lot of you are not in this position. I know a lot of you are not 23 years old with like 1,000, 1,500 in monthly bills each month. All right. And like, if I want to live lavish, lavish. I'll say 2.5K each month. All right. I know a lot of people aren't in that position where they don't have like a lot to lose here. All right. Just know I am in that position. I'm 23 years old. All right. Worst case scenario. Well, actually, it's like not even a bad scenario. Like Mara has made my worst case scenario not bad at all, guys. I can literally sell Mara right now, and I'll have pretty much just about 15K in the other account that I can literally like. And this is worst case scenario. I'm not saying this is going to happen because I am. No, I'm pretty sure Mara, that account is going to do whatever it wants to. All right. But worst case scenario is I get to wait for Mara to come back down, and I get to load up on 3 to 4 month calls, and those go up 10 to 20x like we have seen recently. All right. That is my worst case scenario. So just realize, like, yeah, my worst case scenario ain't that bad. All right. But it's not going to get there. All right. I'm not going to put myself in a position where I have nothing to work with, where I am getting wrecked. All right. Like, my pain tolerance is like kind of pretty extreme, guys. I've been pretty vocal about it. All right. I'm not going to say it's a good thing. All right. I'm not going to say I traded the crap out of this. I called this counter trend. All right. I'm not going to say called it to a T, but as we went along, yeah, no, I continued calling it. Like, obviously there were adjustments, but TA changes, guys. All right. Week to week, TA changes. Day to day, TA changes. All right. I'm not going to just ignore something the charts are telling me. All right. These updates, I don't do them with a bias. All right. But all in all, just realize that if you are taking like my stuff, like it's your stuff. All right. I tell you guys, this is something I say pretty frequently. All right. If you take my trades, you lose all of your money. If I take my trades, I'll get rich. I'll get rich, but everybody else, they'll lose all their money. And I say this because, like, for example, someone asked about January 20 contracts today. Guys, I've been out of those since consolidation. I don't like that's that's an example of what I'm saying. You'll lose all your money. I was out of those here. They probably died. I haven't looked at them, but they've probably completely given back all of those gains. All right. But like being able to sell them for 1,000 a contract down here versus what you got right now, that's what I'm saying. You're going to lose all your money. All right. I am someone who's not going to expose myself to being wiped. All right. I refuse. So if I'm going to do things like I did today, where you literally end up getting out of SPY contracts 155 to 160 and buying them back from anywhere from 126 to 131, bought all of them back. All right. And now I have a little extra money to play. We go up. All right. But that's what I'm saying. All right. Like this is like I will do these things so I don't have a chance of being wiped. I'm also going to actively manage my positions. Clearly, that Jan 20 position was not being actively managed. All right, it's not like you could just hodl something. It gave us gains very freaking quick there. All right, so I don't like there was no reason not to take said gains. Is what I'm getting at. But like that's what I'm saying. All right, so just realize. My worst case scenario is actually like a pretty dang good scenario. All right. And my best case scenario is still like, hey, I'm still going to come out of this with a 2 to 3x gain over the next 2 weeks. And then boom, I get to use all that money for Mara. Like, I don't know when that's going to be. I will be watching Bitcoin, the bit of the corn. But guys, this is what I was saying. I'm super freaking excited to play Mara and Riot because Bitcoin is doing this. What the heck? This is what I was saying to watch for. You're going to see some explosions go down. Now, I will say you're not getting quite as much volume as I imagined. But this is the first sign that they're going to let this thing rip. All right. So after this next dip, I think they're going to let this thing absolutely rip. You finally broke over the 200. Last time you were at the 200, you're at like 48K, I think. Yeah, right about 48K. All right. You got rejected there and boom, you just didn't even come close to it. You kind of came up to it here, not really. But either way, this is the first time you've gone over it. That's a sign of strength, all right? I'm not saying at all this isn't a giant bull trap. I think personally they're going to do that. If the markets fall, Bitcoin's 100% going to fall with it, all right? But that's why the worst case scenario ain't bad, all right? So I just want everyone to know that. Just know, like, don't put yourself in a terrible situation. That's like all in all, that's what I want to get across. Do not put you like I can do whatever I want. All right. Because me doing that isn't so bad. All right. It really isn't. Like you got to, I stand by what I say. Anybody who's going to get rich, it's most likely going to be in that 1 to 2 years. All right. Because you take big bets. All right. You're not going to win a lot of those big bets, but you take big bets. All right. Now, what I've done is, yeah, I've gotten decent at taking big bets, uh, dated big bets, I guess, with, yeah, I mean, that's like what I did to get my accounts like decently high very quick. But I'm just going to say right now, all right, I don't advise anyone do that. I really don't. All right. I say it like decently often. People are going to say I have no risk management. I'm not going to argue with you. All right. I don't have the best risk management. I like literally put together these plans. All right. And there's that. But like at the end of the day, no, I didn't have a stop loss in mind for this. I literally took a course recently just to get that, and I still didn't put a stop loss on. But again, it's because I know we are literally right at a reversal, right? That's what I have traded throughout the past few months is I've traded these reversals. All right. This was a reversal, this reversal, this reversal. Now I didn't get this one. Um, but then there's this, all right, and this is literally like, hey, all right, like a lot of people, the crowd was bearish back here, all right, and I got wrecked because I actually bought into the whole we're falling off a cliff, we're gonna crash, and I will say there was a technical factor to that, on the weekly time frame of QQQ, but I bought into the crowd mentality and they squeezed the crap out of me. I'm telling you guys right now. Uh, do we not see something very similar? Drastic move down. All right. Drastic move up. All right. And the crowd is somehow bullish here. Boom. All right. Boom. They're about to reverse you. That is the only way this thing is going. All right. I like can see the bull case. I'm acknowledging the bull case, which is, hey, inflation is showing to come down. That's the bull case. All right. That is literally it. There's nothing else to really be bullish about other than that. All right. But what would possibly bring you back up to these heights here? Who's going to step in and buy this thing? All right. That's all I'm saying. There's not a reason to right now from where you are right now. And that's that. All right. So I'm going to leave out the video there. All right. Nothing has changed. Please stop sending me any messages about concerns or asking me about your personal concerns because I'm not concerned. All right. I'm like, I come to you guys twice a freaking day. Literally, and I'm not like, yeah, I'm not shaming anyone, but like, I literally asked you guys when we were down here. I told you guys that all of the perma bulls and the people getting nervous are going to come out right when we're about to reverse. All right, and guess what's happening right now? It's exactly what's happening. All right, it is exactly what's happening. I will not allow other people's fear to, you know, put me in to pretty much put me in that headspace to make a bad decision. I refuse to do it. All right. I do think I'm making a very valid decision here. All right. And I'm going to leave it with that. Just please make decisions that are going to benefit you. All right. And not put yourself in a terrible spot because at the end of the day, all right, I'm not a financial advisor. All right. I'm not rich right now. I've been very transparent about that. This channel is pretty much like showing how I am going to get rich over the following like year or two. All right. I am still extremely confident that is going to be the case. But keep in mind, I'm not there yet. All right. And there are traders who probably are there over $1 million. I'm not going to like, that's a pretty small number if you really think about it. Once you really like are in the game for like 5 years. Yeah, that's a small number. If this is your life for 5 years, it's a small number. All right. But all in all, like there are people who did that and who like are firm believers. You don't need to swing trade and you can day trade using risk management and stop losses and all that. And like, yeah, all right, I'm just going to tell you that's not me. All right. I'm not going to be sitting there doing any of that stuff. But yeah, I will do things my way. That is what is demonstrated here on the channel. Unfortunately, I put my money where my mouth is, and that is why, yeah, all right, there was a big loss sitting there, which now I've traded these contracts around so much that like it's not even showing me that loss. Not showing me whatever it's called, that very high average anymore because of how much I've traded these. Which is that's great. All right, that's great. But yeah, all right. My point is, guys, don't put yourself in a bad situation just because I do. All right. But at the end of the day, like what you guys may think like my terrible situation is, like, no, dude, I've just been going about my life this past few days. Yes, it sucks reading messages and stuff like that of people either complaining, telling me I'm wrong, telling me I'm making a huge mistake, or asking me what they should be doing with their money, which like I don't really want to answer those things. All right. I don't. So please don't ask those. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna leave you guys at that. And yeah, peace.